Do you suck at Arsenal? Do you have very bad aim? And do you lose every single game because you are just overall terrible? Well, worry no longer because me, Christmas Sushi, is going to be teaching you my own tips on how to become an Arsenal pro. Now, when it comes to becoming an Arsenal pro, getting better aim is very crucial. And that is where we talk about sensitivity. Now, with sensitivity, it's very important because it determines how fast you can look around. Now, you don't want a sensitivity that is too high or too low.
Their sensitivity is the best.
Oh, weird Sushi. What brings you here?
Oh, I just came here to borrow some of your colored pencils because I'm going to draw myself putting living hot dogs in a microwave and start it for 5 minutes so they can suffer. Can I borrow them?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, but make sure you bring them back though.
Okay. Oh, my arm is so itchy. Oh, I'm scratching like a scratching post.
What the frick? What was that for? Why did you do that?
Okay, bye, Christopher.
Okay. Alright then. If you have a sensitivity that is too high, you will have a much harder time hitting your shots and just overall become inaccurate. If you have a sensitivity that is too low, then you will have a much harder time looking onto enemies that are behind you or just out of your view. Before we choose our in-game sensitivity, we first need to choose our DPI. Now, DPI stands for dots per inch, and what dots per inch is, well, we'll just call it DPI, is basically how fast your mouse cursor moves. Now when it comes to Arsenal, I recommend a DPI setting that is at the ranges of 400 to 1600 DPI. But if you really want, then you can go even higher than that. I don't know why you would, but you can. I personally use 1600 DPI because, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, it just feels great to me. But make sure you choose a DPI that is comfortable for you, especially for normal use. Now that we have chosen our DPI, let's move on to our in-game sensitivity. Now with Roblox's in-game sensitivity settings, we don't want to be using anything on the bars as shown here, as they give sensitivity values that are just too high. So really, we would want to be manually putting low sensitivity values in this text box. But what do I mean by putting low sensitivity values? Well, there are a lot of Arsenal players, especially Arsenal YouTubers, that have sensitivity values like 0.18, 0.115, 0.07. Now really, you would want to be having a sensitivity that is around that range. But it is up to you what sensitivity value that you would want to use. I personally use 0.06 with 1600 DPI. It gives me a good balance between high and low sensitivity, and I can turn a lot more with only just my wrist, as I am a wrist aimer. But do not use what I use. Try to figure out what you are comfortable with by experimenting with different DPI settings and sensitivities. What I use and what other people use might not work for you, but for my console players, your sensitivity settings will be more different for you. In the in-game settings where you find the sensitivity, you will not be able to put decimal numbers. Instead, you have to rely on whole numbers on the bar that is given there. But I honestly recommend a sensitivity value of 3 or 4, maybe even 5, or maybe even lower than all those values, because from what I know, Arsenal does not have aim assist for console players. So because of that, you would want to stick with something low. At least that's what I recommend. Now that we are done with our first tip, let's move on to our second tip, which we will be talking about FOV. Now with FOV, or field of vision, it's also very important because it determines how much you can see in game. Now there are two types of FOVs that we should know about: 70 FOV and 120 FOV.
120 FOV is the best. Wanna hear a joke?
Sure.
Guess what?
What?
Chicken.
Okay, out of all the jokes you could have made, why that one?
Bye, Christopher.
Okay. That's weird. With 70 FOV, it makes enemies bigger, but it also makes you slower, and you see less of what is around you. But with 120 FOV, you will see a lot more and move a lot faster, but enemies will be a lot smaller for you, which is what makes it inconsistent. So it's recommended that you choose an FOV that is somewhere in between those two values. So around 80 or 90 FOV would really be the sweet spot. For an example, I use 80 FOV because it's not too claustrophobic and it's also not too slow. But try out each FOV setting and see what is comfortable for you. Now that we're done with our second tip, let's move on to our third tip, which we will be talking about in-game settings. So there are some in-game settings of Arsenal that only affect your gameplay, and we are only going to be looking into those specific settings.
Hey, Crispin!
Huh.
Wanna hear another joke?
Well, sorry, but nah, dude, I'm trying to work on a video right now.
Oh no, trust me, this is the last one. But you wanna hear another joke?
Well, what is it?
You. You're a joke.
That freaking dude, I swear. So first off, we have show performance stats. This shows how much FPS you have, what ping you are at, and what kind of servers you are in. Always have this on so that you know what are your performance stats. Minimize view models. What this does, well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it minimizes your view model in game. So pretty much the weapon you have and your arms. Now I recommend having this on as it takes less space from your screen. But if you don't like how it looks and you like the non-minimized view model look, then you don't have to turn the setting on. Team leader vignettes. It's not pronounced vignetti, it's pronounced vignette. Now what this does is that it basically gives a large noticeable glow to the person who has the most amount of kills on their team. You would want to have this on as you can know who has the most kills on the enemy team, so you can keep targeting them to prevent them from winning the game. No textures. Ooh, this is a big one. With no textures, it completely removes all of the map textures from Arsenal, but it gives you a slight FPS boost. Now, if you are trying to get as much FPS you can get, then definitely turn this setting on. And plus, it makes the game look much more cleaner, so you might as well go and turn it on. Change crosshair. Now unfortunately there isn't any crosshair changing system, but you fortunately can change the color of your crosshair. Now it's up to you. I don't know how many times I need to explain this, but it's up to you to choose, but I honestly recommend pink, as in my opinion it stands out more than the rest of the other colors. Now moving on to graphic settings. Now if you want to get the most FPS you can, turn off kill effects, ragdolls, and shadows. But turn on basic skins, as although it will get rid of all the skins everyone has in your lobby and turn them into a low quality delinquent, it will give you more FPS. And also turn off particle physics and viewport character too. Those will take a bit of your FPS away. But if you like all the graphic settings and don't care about FPS, then I guess you can have all these on if you want. But these will go and lower down your FPS quite a bit, so yeah, take that into consideration. Now the last setting that we have in our in-game settings is enemy outlines. Now this one is very important, and in my opinion probably the most important out of all of these. Now enemy outlines basically gives you a glowing outline around the enemy. Now you always want to have this on, as it will make enemies easier to see, even from far away. Now for the outline color, try to find something that, okay, this is my last time repeating this, that stands out to you. For an example, I use yellow because I think it stands out the most, but that's what I use. Use what you think is best for you. Okay, so that should be my last time saying that, so yeah, don't worry. But anyways, moving on to our fourth tip, we will be talking about being harder to hit. So in Arsenal, you always want to be making yourself harder to hit. So I will be showing you two main tricks to doing that.
Hey, Crisper.
What?
Can I please have your phone charger, man? Please, this is important.
Why? What do you need my phone charger for? Weird Sushi, who the frick is that?
That's Scary Sushi. I don't know how many versions of us there are, but that one is definitely the scariest, man. But please, can I have your phone charger? Please, 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 please.
Okay, well, here's the charger.
Okay, Scary Sushi. There, just take the charger, man. Just take the goddamn charger, man. Oh, my God.
Well, his name really lives up to himself.
Well, that's Scary Sushi. He does what Scary does.
But you live right underneath him?
Yeah, fortunately I need to, but he doesn't bother me. He really comes out of his lair. But every night when I sleep, I feel like that he's watching me. He's probably thinking about eating my private parts. But yeah, bye, CRISPR. Oh.
The first one being strafing. Now, if you don't know what strafing is, it is basically moving left to right very fast. Most of the time, you would want to do this to mess up your enemy's aim if he is shooting at you. But there are times when you should not be strafing at all and actually taking time to hit your shots with precision weapons like the Seiko 85, the Hush Puppy, the Spencer Carbine. You get it, those types of weapons. But you would want to make sure you are in a safe place when doing so. Which brings me to talk about taking cover. Now you always want to be taking cover in order to prevent your enemy's bullets from hitting you. This can be almost anything that you see depending on what map you are playing on. So make sure you observe your surroundings for spots you can peek out and take cover in. Ooh. That was a nice burp. I'm sorry. You can go and unsubscribe if you want. Now, moving on from number 4, we have the big 5, which is game and map awareness. Now, you need to know how Arsenal works. Also with the fact about how knowing how the weapons in Arsenal work, knowing how the maps in Arsenal work, and knowing how the spawn points in the maps work as well. Now, when it comes to knowing how the weapons in Arsenal work, you need to know how each and every single weapon works in Arsenal. Pistols, snipers, assault rifles, shotguns, projectile weapons, whatever. You need to know how each of them work. One way I recommend doing this is just playing a lot of Arsenal and seeing how each weapon works specifically. Now, knowing how the maps work in Arsenal, you gotta know, for an example, the best spawn camping places in each map, where enemies are commonly at, and knowing where the enemies will spawn. I would say the best way to learn this is, again, playing a lot of Arsenal and playing each map, and also watching some Arsenal YouTubers or pros and see what they do in each map to get some kills. Now, when it comes to knowing the enemy spawn points, it's not really that hard. If you keep playing and keep paying attention to where the enemies will spawn in each map, you will have a good idea of where each spawn point is. Just some little advice, pay attention to where your teammates are at. If they are at one side of the map, then look to the opposite side of the map, as that is where enemies will be spawning.
Hey, CRISPR! 1v1 me in Arsenal, man, for $100, I'll destroy you.
Well, I can't right now, dude. I'm working on a video.
I don't care, man. Just 1v1 me.
Alright, fine. Well, let's just make this quick.
Huh? You're cheating, man. You're cheating. There's no way. There's no way, man. You're cheating. What?
Nah, man. I'm just good. So, where's that $100 you were talking about?
Man, you're cheating.
Okay, well, I guess no $100. Back to work on my video. Alright, now we are reaching my 6th and final tip, and this in my opinion is the most important tip that I have for you guys watching this video, and that is, don't take the game seriously. Don't forget, this is a Roblox game that a lot of kids play for fun, so have fun yourself while playing this game. Like, don't get mad if you lose. You are going to lose an arsenal sometimes, no matter what. So yeah, go ahead and have fun. You can go and sweat here and there, like I am also a sweat as well, but have fun. Have fun playing the game, and yeah, just don't take it seriously. Just don't.
Man, here's your $100, man. Screw you, Sergio. Oh boy, 2 weeks without showering, dude. Oh, that's soon going to be 2 months.
You didn't shower for 2 weeks? Okay, I will say this right now. That wasn't my final tip. For you guys that have reached this point of the video, I'm going to be congratulating you guys with some bonus tips. So the first bonus tip we have is with projectile weapons, make sure you aim in front of the enemy. Learn how each projectile weapon works, as they all have different projectile speeds. And also, taking out your knife will make you move faster. Always take out your weapon ahead of time before you're going to a room or building or peek an angle, because you will never know, an enemy will just go and pop up out of nowhere and just kill you before you can even shoot and aim at them. And now, use sound to your advantage. What I mean by this is turn your sound settings on in Roblox higher, but not to the point where your eardrums will burst. Have it high enough so that you can hear gunshots from different directions and even hear footsteps so that you can tell where enemies are without even seeing them. Okay, this will be my last tip for this video, just for you guys. Don't be discouraged if you get body shot kills. Yeah, sure, getting headshots are very important, and you should be aiming for them as much as you can, because with headshots, you can kill the enemy faster when getting them a lot. There will be times in Arsenal where we will get body shot kills, even a lot in a row. Now, there will be people that will trash talk you in chat because you keep getting body shot kills. Do not listen to them. They are just mad that they keep dying to you. Whew, that was the hardest video that I had to go and make yet. So please support me by liking this video and also clicking the subscribe button at the bottom of the video, just so that you can go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as we are 300 subscribers away from 500 subscribers. So please subscribe to me and make me reach that goal. But yeah, I hope that this tips and tricks video that I made myself really helped you guys in becoming a better Arsenal player, or perhaps an Arsenal pro. And so yeah, I just want to go and say, hopefully I see you guys on the next video that I go and make. And frick, what else do I say? Peace out, have a great day, and also take care. See you guys on the next one.